So what is Stoicism?
Even today, it's practiced by a lot of the most successful people, and they're very quiet about it. So you actually wouldn't know how popular this philosophy has become. But it's a great antidote to a lot of the problems in our modern world.
It's a philosophy shared by presidents, millionaire investors, and slaves, bringing happiness to whoever takes it seriously. Let's dive into this battle-tested mindset and explore the 6 core principles of Stoicism. And at the end, we'll cover how to actually become a Stoic yourself if you want to.
Unleash hell.
Alright, so before we get into the 6 core principles of Stoicism, just a brief background on this ancient Stoic philosophy. There was a group of wise men living in Greece and Rome a couple thousand years ago called the Stoics, who wanted to figure out what led to lasting happiness, or what they called eudaimonia. As we'll see, they came up with a pretty fantastic system for achieving this, using the powerful tools of logic and introspection. Contrary to popular belief, the Stoics didn't call for emotionless detachment from the world. In fact, the word Stoic comes from the Greek word stoa, meaning a porch, where this wisdom was often taught. Now you might wonder, why should we pay any attention to ancient robed philosophers? They didn't know what it's like to wait in traffic or take a selfie. But the fact is that these guys deeply understood the human mind, which has not fundamentally changed. As famous Roman Stoic Seneca put it, how many men train their bodies and how few train their minds? You can think of Stoicism as an operating system for your mind that allows you to see the world clearly and live a great life. Like physicians, the Stoics had great cures for our troubles. So the first core principle of Stoicism is that your mind creates your reality. Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If any external thing causes you distress, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your own judgment about it. And this you have the power to eliminate now." In other words, you control your mind, not what happens to you. But it's your judgments and beliefs about those things that determine your happiness, not the things themselves. The Stoics were masters of taking a fresh and useful perspective on things, rather than viewing them from a narrow and self-centered vantage point, as we often do. The second core principle is amor fati, which is Latin for love your fate. Seneca put it this way: no one can have whatever he wants. What he can do is not want what he doesn't have, and cheerfully enjoy what comes his way. Isn't that true? If you love whatever you have, and whatever happens to you, you'll always be happy. There's a famous formula for happiness that says happiness equals reality minus expectations. Lower your expectations, and you increase your happiness. And Greek slave turned famous Stoic Epictetus said, "Don't insist that what happens should happen as you wish. Wish that things happen as they actually happen. Then your life will go well." Think of the times in your life when you didn't get what you wanted, but this ended up being the best thing for you. Let's say you didn't get into the college of your choice, but you met your lover at that college or found your passion. Can you ever know for certain what outcome will make you happiest? The third core principle of Stoicism is that we should try to remain in the present where life actually happens. Marcus Aurelius wrote that, quote, "Each of us lives only this present and indivisible moment. Everything else has either already been lived or is uncertain," end quote. Yet we spend so much of our lives lost in mental simulations of past regretful events and future catastrophes that will never occur. In fact, one 2010 Harvard study found that we spend 47% of our waking hours lost in this virtual simulation, mind-wandering about future and past. Seneca adds that, quote, "Memory recalls the torments of fear, and foresight anticipates them. It is only the present that makes no one wretched." And it's so true. That same Harvard study found that when we're out of the present, our thoughts usually aren't all that happy. Think that the internal present moment is all that you'll ever have, that the future and the past are just dreams. The fourth core principle of Stoicism is that external events will never satisfy your mind. Seneca wrote, "Who was ever satisfied after attainment with that which loomed up as large as he prayed for?" In other words, how long do you stay satisfied after something good happens to you? Reflect on something you wanted really badly in the past, like a girlfriend, car, or job. How did you feel when you finally got it? And how long before you became indifferent, normalized to that experience? Or wanted a better lover, a fancier car, or a promotion? Now think about something you want really badly at this time. Won't the same be true if you should get it? The fifth core principle of Stoicism is that virtuous behavior, that is, being well-intentioned, leads to lasting happiness. Epictetus said, "If virtue promises good fortune, peace of mind, and happiness, certainly also the progress toward virtue is progress toward each of these things." In our modern society, how often do we think of others besides ourselves? Not to signal virtue to others, but truly caring for their well-being. This, according to the Stoics, is a recipe for happiness. Basically, try your best to be a good guy or gal. The intention to do good is what matters. And finally, the sixth core principle of Stoicism is that one should not concern him or herself with what others think of them. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "How much trouble he avoids by not looking to see what his neighbor does or thinks, by looking only to what he does himself, that it may be just and pure." This goes back to core principle number 1. You can't ultimately control your reputation, so control what you can. Be the best version of yourself. Seneca's related advice is to, quote, "be your own spectator, seek your own applause," end quote. You can realize that all the people you're trying so hard to please, whose opinions matter so much to you, will likely be dead in 100 years, and that in 1,000 years, it's very likely that nobody will know your name or hold an opinion of you. In other words, stop living to please others. Think that reputation, upon which we place so much value, is just someone's thought of you during a small blip in time, soon to be forgotten. It's really just driven by evolutionary desires to be accepted by the tribe. How relevant is the Stoic philosophy to this current Instagram age? So if you're wondering like the Stoics did, how do I live the best life possible, a fulfilling life that I can look back on from my deathbed and say, wow, I really did it right, then you have your answer. You got to practice Stoicism.
So this is obviously an idyllic thing. It's a lifelong pursuit. But starting today, see if you can plant the seed. So the challenge is notice what is and isn't in your control today. And if something's not in your control, if you're worried about someone's opinion of you, if you're worried about something in the future that you can't control, then stop worrying about it. Notice that it's not in your control.
So if you found this video on Stoicism helpful and you want to help us out, you can leave a thumbs up or comment below. And if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get new videos when they come out where I interview meditation masters, neuroscientists, and other experts of the mind, and come out with videos like this one. Thanks so much and have a great day.